On May 24th, we lost the original queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner, at the age of 83. She took with her an incredible singing voice, beauty beyond compare, and a bunch of secrets that we may never get confirmed. Welcome to Beyond the Screen, I am Nate, and today we're breaking down the top 10 secrets Tina Turner took to the grave. Number 10. Unheard song covers. Over her career, Tina Turner has written and performed dozens of original songs that are still popular to this day. Much like a large portion of musicians back in the day though, she took time to perform covers of songs from other artists. She performed a rendition of Let's Dance with David Bowie, covered Elton John's The Snitch Is Back, and several others over the years. Tina retired from performing in the early 2010s, and since then there's been a massive slew of successful songs that the artists totally should have covered. What would Tina Turner's version of Poker Face have sounded like? Did she ever want to do a cover of Uptown Funk with Bruno Mars? There will never be a Land Down Under What's Love Got to Do With It mashup. We have to imagine that Tina was keeping track of current music trends, and she almost certainly kept like a little book of names of people that she wanted to collaborate with. I think we can all agree the afterlife is going to have an epic playlist going 24/7. Number 9. Tina Turner toys. In 2021, Tina Turner was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame again, this time as an individual though, as she was previously inducted into the hall alongside of her former husband and musical partner Ike Turner. Another honor came that year though in the creation of Tina's very own Barbie doll. The doll boasts Tina's iconic hairstyle as well as her on-point fashion sense. This doll looks like it's going to burst into song and kick the night away, but we can only imagine that this wasn't the first time she tried to capitalize on her fame with a toy. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, I was not alive yet, but I did grow up with a lot of the toys from that era. If it was on TV or in the mainstream, it seemed to have some kind of product to go along with it. With Tina's career kicking off strong around the early 70s, it would have made perfect sense for her record company to release Tina Turner dolls or some kind of like a sing-along kit. For all we know, those products were pitched but met with negative results. And now we'll never know if somewhere out there sits a prototype for a Tina Turner talking teddy. I'm writing that down, that's good. Number 8. Smart shopper. In her youth, Tina found a home at Club Manhattan, a music venue in Tennessee. It was there that she met rock and roll pioneer and future ex-husband Ike Turner. Ike and Tina were together for a very long time, and as we know now, their relationship was filled with physical altercations, mental and control. By the mid-1970s, they had finally split after an altercation in Dallas broke Tina's limits. Following their split, Tina began giving her solo career a shot. Despite the success of her time on stage with Ike, she was left with next to nothing following the divorce. In her HBO documentary, she tells the audience that when Ike left, she had 36 cents in her pocket and a gas station credit card. To care for her children and put food on the table, Tina would collect food stamps and even clean houses. As someone who's witnessed the work of a single mother firsthand, seriously, my sister is a rock star, they tend to get pretty good at smart shopping. In 1983, Turner's solo career turned around after gaining some traction following the release of her cover of Al Green's Let's Stay Together, which soared to the top 5 R&B charts in the States and in the UK. This means that between 1976 and 1983, Tina was making life work, and we can only imagine the tips and tricks she must have learned over the years to make life as a single mama a second-hand emotion. I assume that means easy. I don't know for sure. It sounds good. Number 7. Her vocal warm-ups. There are 2 things we can agree on in this world. Number 1, the moon is actually a government satellite, and number 2, Tina Turner has an incredible voice. Tina has been serenading our eardrums since taking her first breath into the microphone when she started singing at her local church in Nutbush, Tennessee. That is a rough name for a town. Her voice is always on point, but she never actually shared her warm-up routine with anybody. With such a powerful voice at your disposal, the process of prepping it for hours of usage must be intense. As a theater kid, I know for a fact that vocal warm-ups are essential to a clear and concise performance. I also know that you shouldn't eat dairy before a big show, but they still gave us pizza before everything when we went on, so who knows. We wish we could have learned what she did to prep such an iconic voice. Was there tea involved, or was it more like Sharpay in High School Musical, you know? Brr, brr, ma, ma. Never know. Number 6. Skincare routine. Tina was taken from us at the age of 83 after spending over 50 years on stage. Now, most musicians begin to show their age after only a few years of touring, but Tina's skin stood still. Up until the day she passed, Tina was a beautiful woman. Somehow at the age of 83, she looked like she was a slightly older version of her 40-year-old self. If there is one thing we wish was revealed in her HBO documentary Tina, it would be her beauty secrets. Not only is Tina herself famous and beautiful, but her legs are considered their own separate being. She famously kicks and swings so much during her shows that we're convinced her legs have a mind and personality of their own. Even in her 80s, we're sure Tina was kicking and singing all the way to the end, but seriously, how did you look so good for that long? Number 5. Missed film opportunities. In case you weren't aware, there was a little film franchise back in the day starring Mel Gibson called Mad Max. He played the titular Max as we followed his journey through a desert wasteland where gas is the only currency we care about. In the franchise's third installment, Tina Turner was cast to act alongside Mel as Auntie Entity. Not only did she deliver a solid performance for her first real acting gig, but she also dropped a killer song for the flick called We Don't Need Another Hero. Her appearance on screen was a fun surprise for Mad Max fans, but it left us craving more. We have to imagine that she received other offers over the years for film roles, but what? When? Why? The idea of Tina Turner having a career on the big screen isn't outside of the realm of possibility, as historically musicians have been able to make similar moves with positive receptions. Post Malone is famous for his music, but did you know that he's been acting lately and he's doing like a really good job at it? Mark Wahlberg started out as a rapper named Mackie Mac, and now he's in the Transformers universe. And Ice Cube made a trilogy of successful comedies in the Friday franchise. The examples are endless, and there are so many iconic characters that Tina could have played over the years. Just imagine if Tina had popped up in a Marvel movie, our minds would have been blown. Number 4. Substance use. Tina's ex-husband, Ike, was an absolutely horrible human being. Throughout his entire relationship to Tina, Ike was being aggressive and physical behind the scenes. While the couple seemed to be happy together on stage, the reality was Tina hated being with him and he controlled most of her early career. So much so that the name Tina Turner was actually trademarked by Ike as another form of control. Over the years, details have surfaced about Ike's long history with substances and no-no juice, and they're hard to hear. Thankfully, Tina got out of that marriage and Ike was sentenced to prison for 18 months for possessing no-no snow. In fact, he was serving that sentence when himself and Tina were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991. While Tina was able to get free of Ike's clutches, the reality is she was stuck with a terrible man for a long time, and famously that has led people to do terrible things to cope with the stress or anxiety. Tina talked about a truly dark time in her life and mental health in her documentary, where she attempted to end her own life following the revelation that Ike was cheating on her with multiple women. But this is just one instance that we know of. Tina didn't talk about Ike much, so the idea that she may have had more stories to share is likely, but unfortunately we will never know for sure. Number 3. An affair. In the HBO documentary about her life, Tina discusses the topic of infidelity and loyalty along with the specifics of her relationship with Ike Turner. As we know now, Ike was cheating on Tina with several women throughout their relationship, but it appears that Tina herself may have had some extramarital affairs as well. During the documentary, Tina mentioned that she has not had one love affair that was genuine and long-lasting. Okay, hold up, does that mean that she did have affairs, they just weren't with anyone that she loved? It would make sense that Tina would seek love from another man, considering just how cruel and abrasive Ike really was. While there's never been a confirmation of Tina's infidelity, the way she talks about her love life in reference to loveless affairs makes us think that she's had some secret lovers in the past, and we'll never know. Well, not lovers, more like acquaintances, according to her. Number 2. Ancient wisdom. Tina spent the majority of her youth singing in church choirs and at local music venues. As she got older, she only grew more and more talented, and apparently her religious views grew as well. Towards the end of her life, Tina adhered to the teachings of the Soka Gakkai International, the largest Buddhist organization in the world, consisting of about 12 million practitioners. They exist under the belief that peace of the land depends on transforming the heart and mind of one individual at a time. Tina spent a long time living in this lifestyle as she was introduced to the concept by a friend in the 1970s. Tina found a lot of peace in her meditation sessions, but did she also find the answers to the universe? Tina had been through so much in her life, romantically, emotionally, family-wise, yet somehow she not only remained positive, but she was eventually able to forgive those who caused her harm in the past. The calm and comforting manner in which Tina existed makes us think that during those meditation sessions, some kind of door was unlocked in her mind, allowing her to release all the problems in her life and move on. I want that. Can I have that, please? Number 1. Tried to have Ike taken out. Phil Spector was one of the most prolific record producers of the early 1960s. He quickly recognized the potential in Tina, but noticed there were some outside issues holding her back. Specifically, her boy toy Ike was kind of a Phil knew about the rocky relationship and set a plan in motion to have Ike dealt with. In the documentary Tina, it was revealed that Phil once paid someone to distract Ike while Tina was in studio sessions to just get him out of the room and allow Tina to do her thing without the stress and pressure of Ike being right there. While the doc confirmed this one story, Spector was a man who had friends in high places. If he wanted someone taken care of, it was gonna happen. Maybe he hired this person to get a feel for Ike before deciding if he really needed to take him out for good. Tina worked with Spector on her career milestone collaboration, River Deep Mountain High, and while at first it was a major flop, it went on to be one of the most iconic songs she's ever performed. Look at that. Take a person you hate out of the equation and there's nowhere to go but up. And those are the secrets Tina Turner took to the grave. Tina, if you're out there and somehow watching this, we loved you, we miss you, and seriously, what kept your skin so smooth? Thanks for checking out our content here on the channel, and as always, we will see you again next time.